focus, determination, passion, stamina, and the will to win. The end result, the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Extreme Motorsports brings you the Ricmotech Sports Car Series, brought to you by Ricmotech High Performance Sim Racing Equipment, and in part by TD's Tree Service. Live Mondays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Apex Racing TV and welcome to the final meeting of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Sports Car Series. It's been a great season and it all culminates tonight at the Road Atlanta circuit in the United States. Andrew Woodhouse with Adam Bath and Alex Simpson. And very quickly before we get started, we're going to go to the track guide and we're going to see how to tackle Road Atlanta.
Welcome everyone to Road Atlanta. Great to have you with us as we provide you your track guide in the Ford Mustang. And today we come to you from Braselton, Georgia, located just northeast of downtown Atlanta. This track was constructed in 1969 on 750 acres of farmland and quickly became a mecca for road racing, featuring legends like Peter Gregg in his 1976 BMW and the great Paul Newman. The first winner at Road Atlanta was Vic Elford in his Chaparral 2J in 1970. Road Atlanta lives on today, hosting major road racing events, including the Petit Le Mans race held here each year. This track is full of elevation changes, as you will see on our track guide around this 3.5-mile road course through the red clay hills of Georgia. We start our track guide coming down out of turn 11 into the final corner here. The starts of races across this start-finish line are very exciting, as you'll see coming into turn 1. Drivers will sometimes go 2-3 wide into this corner, trying to get that edge to come up this hill to one of the blindest corners on the track. Turn 2. Still looking, there it is. Now into turn 3 to the right. Drivers will get a good quick run through here to head towards one of the most famous areas on the track, the S's. Down through this hill, back to the left, back to the right, hard on the brakes for this next uphill blind corner. Coming up out of 5 and down the straightaway. Short little straight, heading towards 6 and 7. Two very important turns on the course. Want to get a good run through 6, get a nice wide entry to set up for 7. You want to get a good rotation here, get that good launch off this corner as this takes you down the longest straightaway on the track and the highest speed section of the track. Drivers in the Mustang will probably reach speeds of 130, 135 mile an hour on this straightaway, but coming down into the next section is so critical. Great overtaking opportunities here as you do have slipstream on this straightaway. But 10A and B here are very tight. It's a real tight chicane. Got to get that nose to set at the bottom of the apex, come back up out of the apex, up to turn 11 under the bridge here. Blind entry down the hill to turn 12, the final corner on the track, and back to the start-finish line. Very fast 3.5-mile course as we come down into turn 1 once again. That is your track guide for Road Atlanta. Thank you so much for being with us.
Well, that's Rod Atlanta. That's what the drivers have got to deal with tonight. Bringing Adam Bath and Adam Aeronom. He's won all 9 out of the 9 races that he's actually taken part in. He holds the lead coming into this race. It's going to be super tough for anybody else, isn't it?
Well, yeah, the championship in the GS Pro is already sorted. It's Aeronom with the title, but it is still all open for second place, and that's something we're going to be watching with interest. As you can see the starting grid on your screen. We're halfway around the lap now, so I can also quickly tell you what's going on in the other classes. In the open division in the Mustangs, it's still yet to be decided yet there. Andrew Fawcett's the favourite. He's got a 9-point advantage in the open category for the Mustangs. There it is on your screen. You can see there the 9-point difference between him, Nathan Thomas, and a little bit further back, Alex Coffard. They're moving over into the Mazdas, and this gets pretty interesting. This is something we're going to be keeping an eye on tonight. It's all to play for. It's a freeway battle for the Mazda title. Mike Dam has an 8-point advantage over Rob Hartley, and then a 12-point advantage over Giuseppe Iannucci. And Dam appears to be a sitting duck. That's what it says on my notes anyway, and could likely end up third when we leave this one. So that's the state of play there. And finally, in the open category for the Mazdas, it appears to be set. Geordie Fike has a healthy lead over Greg Mack. So, of course, we'll update you with everything as the race goes on. But here we go, coming into the chicane, and there's the pro category in the GS. Aeronom light years ahead of everyone else, but that second place could still be decided between Stephen Thomas and Kevin Ford.
Okay, about ready for the start then. Drivers have exited the chicane, and now the green light is on, and Aeronom brings us to the green. It's turn 1. All nice and clean so far. Oh, now I wonder if I could hear some tyre squealing around, but we'll see what happens with the MX-5s, Adam, as they go into the first corner. It's Rob Hartley in the lead.
Yeah, you're not the only one. I did hear that as well, but yeah, good start from Rob Hartley. Mike Dam in third position here, so we'll wait and see if we can get any positions. There's a few cars running up onto that huge curb on the exit. Can really unsettle the car. We're 3 wide nearly going into the second corner as well, but a breakaway already. John Allen and Rob Hartley already making a break for it in the early going. Mike Dam can't afford to drop behind too much because the slipstream around this circuit is going to be pretty important here as he tries to fend off Jim Lith.
The drivers flirting with the grass as they go down the hill, but very, very difficult section through the back of this circuit with the left and right S's. And now the Ford Mustangs, Alex tackling the longest straight on the circuit and going into the chicane. It's going to be the main overtaking point.
Yeah, indeed, and I think Kevin will want some honours at least.
Someone's missed the braking point. That was Thomas.
Was close, just about survived it. But
I think
yeah,
he hit him, but he's got away with it.
Just a little nip. So, but yeah, I think Kevin will want some honours, so he just needs to stay right on thing here and see if he can't use some tactics to try and pick up a win this season, because Nom has been dominant, and I want to show it's not going to be that easy. If he returns next season.
He does have a win, Kevin Ford. Did take 1 win this season, but there's only 2 other people that have taken wins. That's he and Tyler Schiffler in the Ford Mustangs. Such has been Aeronom's skill, and we saw some flashes of it last season, Adam, but largely it was very close. But now it seems that he's just found that extra something that maybe, it's just propelled him to a different level.
Yeah, Mike Dam was the one that ran him close last year in the Mustang category. He left, and it looks like none of the drivers have been able to really fill that void. And Aeronom, since he's come back after missing the opening 2 race meetings of the season, has taken victory in every single one. That shows you how much he's been able to make up the deficit in that time. And as we ride on board with Leon Wright here, he's going to be trying getting into 4th place, but Aeronom done such a good job, and maybe you could say the lack of consistency by the others, but you have to hand it to Aaron on that. Yeah, he has done a fantastic job. And as we come around to complete this this second lap of the race, he's got a healthy lead here as we go down the hill and through the final corner. See if they can take it flat. Here we go. Lightest feathering of the throttle there as we went through in fourth gear.
Yeah, looked pretty committed, I have to say, by Leon Wright. That fast right-hander. It's a really good corner, that, Alex, but it's as Adam said, it's very tough to take flat out. You've got to get the line perfect.
Oh, you really have. It's always that corner that seems to require full commitment from all the drivers, and everyone wants to try and take it flat. I would think the MX-5 is a full chat round there. I don't. It's a pretty planted car, so. Something we'll go on board with later on, I think, and see if we can work that out.
Want to be flat out in the McLaren F1 car as well. I don't know in the Kia. That would be an interesting one going through that final corner, especially with the front wheel drive.
I think you've got to lift, haven't you, to get it round?
It is just a little lift, yeah. I remember it this season. A little lift.
Well, we did mention as we hear the tyres skidding, and that is Rob Hartley running very, very wide going through the left-hander. As we were running through the grid, this could be Alan's opportunity, you know. We'll get back to that in a moment, but John Allen takes the lead after Rob Hartley's error.
So yeah, my apologies, as exactly what Adam said. Apparently, according to what we were sent, Aero Nom didn't even have to start the race today, so... yeah, we did see somebody, didn't we? I can't remember who it was who didn't start the final round, but for one reason or another in one of the championships that we did. And but here we go. We could have three wide action down the straight, and Mike Dam's trying to make this very, very interesting in the Crypto G Racing orange car, and on the brakes, in the front of the car lurching as he applies the anchors. Gets it into the chicane, and that's a lovely move by Mike Dam. So the man who is apparently a sitting duck, well, he's showing that, you know, he's trying to, he's just trying to do the best he can.
I think it's all down to drop weeks. That's what I've gathered just from reading that here.
He's got the least wins, I believe, hasn't he, out of the three who are fighting for the championship? Does he not have the least wins?
Something like that. I think it also said that if he wins here today...
He's got 2 wins. Hartley's got 4 wins, and Iannucci's got 3.
Yeah, you're right. And I believe that if he wins here today, that this race may count towards his drop score. So I think that's why he could be a sitting duck. But for now, he's leading. And look at the amount of curb they take there. I saw Brendan Hartley was speaking earlier today about how it's bad about the amount of curbs that they use there, but that's taking it to another level, as up the inside there goes, that was Jim List getting past John Allen there.
Brendan Hartley or Rob Hartley?
Brendan Hartley, but here is Rob Hartley, he is in second place.
I was just checking, because I don't know, but yeah, it is a WEC course, isn't it, this?
It is. I think Pessi Le Mans is part of the WEC. Let's go double check now for you. Might be part of IMSA. It's definitely part of IMSA, that's for sure.
Yep.
Not on the super season schedule, but has been in the past, I think. Just like the 12 Hours of Sebring.
Okay, yeah.
But
it is crazy though, isn't it, Alex? How Mike Dam can come into the final round with the lead, and no, he's almost certainly not going to keep it.
Yeah, it's frustrating. That's
even
just
if
the
he
way
wins.
Even if he wins, kind of thing. You know, that's just the way the drop weeks, work.
That's why it makes it interesting, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And it also gives people. At the end of the day, we're sim racers. We're not paid to race, are we? Out there, well, not yet. Let's hope maybe in the future as our sport ramps up a little bit. But yeah, we're all entitled to our breaks and weeks off and things like that. And of course, you can also take that as a kind of like a wrap off your bad weeks as well. It's funny, really, because we obviously come from sort of series history that never really had drop weeks in it, did it? Back in the Apex Racing League, and it was really iRacing that introduced drop weeks onto their schedule. And I remember the uproar when it came in. Everyone was like, "No, every point's got to count." And pretty sure they kept the drop weeks, didn't they? I think there's most of their series that I've seen have got some sort of drop weeks now because
World GT got one in it as well. That's another series that we do on Monday night.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think most of them we're covering. But yeah, it's a very iRacing thing. It's the drop weeks, but it does allow drivers the chance to have a little holiday, or or try and recover from a really, really bad week. So, idea. I like it. The only issue is you've got to work the maths out to to figure out who's got what. It becomes a logistical nightmare on the final race of the season.
Yeah, and that's the only issue that we sometimes get.
F1 had it until 91.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, it's crazy to think that 91 was the first year that that those drop scores weren't in effect, and you counted every single round for the championship. We think of that as being something that's happened for a long time, but yeah, 91 came in. That was when we got 10 points for a win as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, back up to that point, it was 9 points for a win.
And I don't know who thought of 9 points for a win, but never mind. That's another story for another day. It's Tyler Shiflett, and he's going to battle with Stephen Thomas. Thomas, who's led the way for most of the season, goes round the outside of Shiflett. That's a lovely move, and he's going to get this one done because got that left-hand kink followed by the right-hander, and he is through. Shiflett's got some damage to the front right corner of the Ford Mustang. So even though he did get hit slightly by Stephen Thomas, like he's been in something else. We didn't see it on the camera, not to my knowledge anyway.
Good free car scrap this. We got Leon Wright just behind them in the One Wild One racing car. Leon Wright sat in 7th place in the championship standings. His best finish came at the 6th race meeting of the season, where it looks like he got a 2nd place finish. Currently 2 places away from that, but an opportunity to get onto the podium here if he can close in on the slightly vulnerable Tyler Shiflett. Even with that damage to the front of his Mustang, he still might be able to pick up a decent tow off the back of Stephen Thomas here in this battle for 3rd.
Well, he does have a decent tow indeed. It's going to be late on the brakes, Tyler Shiflett. But even later is Stephen Thomas on the outside for the first part. Just mean he's tighter for the second part. He might get a cut back here, Alex.
Yeah, great move. You can see exactly what was going to happen there. Just needs to try and follow this through, and does indeed.
Oh.
Wide. For Thomas, he's going to lose another place here. Right goes through.
He picks up damage just from going off there. The front of the Mustang just raised slightly there as he went across the grass.
It wouldn't surprise me. He bounced along quite dramatically. So we'll see if that does affect the rest of Stephen Thomas's race.
Crazy, yeah, you can see definitely see the little. I'd be interested to see what this going to be. Little things like that are going to be like once we get the damage model. Because we might lose a splitter or something like that in future races. When they, yeah, exactly when that's come on. That'll be great to see, like little bits of the front bumper being torn away or something like that.
It said that David Warren was off the track for 9 seconds nearly. I don't know what's happened to him. But that might be the first real off-track action that we've seen today. Warren dropped down to 14th place. It's just turn 1, isn't it? Gone a long way into the grass. Oh, and does he decide to just stay wide? Does he? Apparently, he goes off.
Oh, he goes off again.
Oh!
This time into the wall.
Oh.
Rejoin, man.
Oh. That's like a good bad rejoin, is that? Because he didn't hit anything.
Nothing to worry about.
Don't try this at home, kids.
Right then,
we've nearly got lapping going on actually by the front runners.
Yeah, you can see on the map, 16th place is the is not last place in the Mazdas, that's Greg Mack. But in terms of the cars running, it is Patrick Previnus, and he is just coming out of the S's, as you can see on the handy track map there. And Aero Nom and Kevin Ford are just coming out of it as well. And it looks like he may have been off, because Greg Mack was highlighted in red there as the Mustangs duly go by. But we're looking at a battle here.
I think Greg Mack must have crashed at some point, because he had to jump back to the pits. He's only done 4 laps.
Yeah.
But here's the battle then. Travis Fenke is involved in this one.
We haven't seen much of Travis at the front this year, have we, really? It's just been one of those seasons for him, so...
Not as much as we were used to in the previous seasons. He was always... I mean, he's 9th in the championship, and you wonder how the heck that's happened, don't you? Because...
He's missed a few, hasn't he? But I think...
No, he hasn't. He's got the same... No, he hasn't missed any.
Oh,
or maybe... No, sorry, he's missed... Maybe he's...
He missed the opening 2. He missed the opening 2 races of the season, same as Aero Nom.
But everybody's... but he's got the same amount of starts on the table as with the drops, I suppose, as everyone else.
Now, I might mean then that he got 0. He crashed in both of them. But recently, it's turned good. He's had 32 points in race meeting 9, 32 in race meeting 10, and 28 points last week. So recently, Schwenke replicating the form that we've seen the last few seasons. So hopefully this is a good omen for next season when it gets going, and as we ride on board with him. I wonder if Rob Hartley's just a bit too far away for this Mazda that we're on board with to pick up a bit of a slipstream as we go down the back straight. He's got someone behind him, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Look in the rear view mirror. There goes Iannucci. Yeah.
There goes a flying potato. That's not what it's called, but you know, it is now. Giuseppe Iannucci going through, and yeah, that is the title battle, though, isn't it? These two 4 points in it. Really, even though Mike Dam's in the lead, it's between these two. Yeah, Giuseppe Iannucci was the fastest man on the track that last time round.
Yeah, 37.3.
Well, out of the top 3, sorry.
Yeah, 37.3 for Hartley, 37.2 for Giuseppe Iannucci, and that's another position gained. And look how wide he runs there, and having to use a bit of the curb there. And you can see the Mazdas are on the ragged edge as they plunge down the hill here.
I've really got to give them a lot of respect, Alex, for just throwing the MX-5 around the place.
Talking of throwing it around, that was Alan, wasn't it? Absolutely full sideways. That corner all over the curb and everything. So yeah, full commitment. Congrats on that. That looked epic.
This 2016 MX-5 is a lot better to drive than the old car that we used to have, and yeah, you can tell that the drivers are really enjoying it these days. Here comes Rob Hartley for the lead.
I get the feeling these guys are just working together at the moment to try and build a gap to the cars behind. I'm not sure that's a sensible thing for Dam to do.
Dam needs to get rid of him, really.
I was about to say, he needs to race Harley absolutely every opportunity to hold him up and almost back the pack into him. So, you know, it's not... people will say it's not exactly sportsman-like driving, but he needs to do what Hamilton needed to do to Nico Rosberg those years ago, where he needed to back him into the pack and hope that he gets involved in something, you know, that's going to affect his race in a big way. So, yeah, nice stuff out there, Mike. Come on, back him in.
If he can get past him again, well, he should be able to, you'd think.
Anything that gets us to get the calculator out will be interesting. That's what I reckon.
We haven't had that since, I think, the days of the BSRTC in 2015, as Hartley runs out wide there. Good opportunity.
Get the calculator out. We had to get the tape measure out for the finish between Mitch and Joe. We had to get everything sorted for that.
Had to get the tissues out.
Yeah, well, it was almost as bad as that.
Poor Andreas Katz.
Oh dear. Dear. They must have nightmares about Ash Sutton.
I think the words etched in his memory are when you go and there's a plane coming into land because you know what happened after that.
Oh God, yeah.
Here is Jeff Jacobs, who I don't think there's any planes around here in Georgia for Road Atlanta today.
I mean, there are some. They're not here, though. I don't think.
Oh,
they do have planes in Georgia, of course. We're not saying that.
We've got Alex far behind. This is lap 12 of the race, which brings me on to the fuel numbers for this one. The Mustangs will get about 22 to 23 laps on a tank, so expecting the first round of pit stops in about 10 laps then in this category. Mazdas will go a little bit longer. You'll see them in about lap 26, 27. So,
well, of course, relatively to some of the courses that we visit in this series, it's actually quite a short lap here. It's only 1 minute 33, so yeah, quite a large number of laps for these guys. Pit lane time, Alex, here doesn't look like it's massively long, but what's your take on it?
Yeah, no, not too bad. I mean, we'll get an idea actually. Bobby Charles just entered the pits, and actually so has Edgar Sancinelli. So,
have you raced here in the Formula One before?
I have in the Williams FW31. So, I believe Pro Series qualification. I've not done a World Championship race here, and it was never here actually in the Pro Series. It was just Class A series it was there. So yeah,
back when you had to qualify for the Pro Series
exactly,
itself,
rather than just rock up and drive. That was over the curb from Coffard. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, the curbs played havoc with the Williams, that's for sure. That was all about. I remember that week particularly well. I was quick, but in the race, for me, it just all become about making sure I didn't crash. So giving the curbs a little bit of a wide berth because they're pretty severe, and I think you can see that even with this Mustang there. You get that line just a little bit wrong.
Pretty hard to avoid.
Yeah, exactly. So, and yeah, so I sacrificed probably half a second lap time just to make sure I missed all the curbs and things like that. And it paid off for me. I think I ended up at about 5th in the race or something like that, just because people dropped out who were a little bit quicker, but took some liberties and ended up in the wall. So,
two drivers in the pits: David Warren and Patrick Prevenas. And Warren, I wouldn't be surprised if it was to repair the damage that he sustained earlier on. Prevenas, not sure. Although it did say that he crashed a little bit ago, which I don't think we saw.
He's been in the pits for a good minute, but
he's on his way out now, so that might make some sense. Of course, we will have split strategies today with it being a couple of stops. So pit stop times for Charles and Sancinelli was about 17 seconds. 50.9 and 49.5 in the pit lane, so it's not a bad pit lane here. Actually, you do. Some circuits you can go. Can almost be a whole lap that you lose. So
yeah, it's not the worst, is it?
No, not at all.
Leon Wright is in 3rd place. He's trying to gap Tyler Shiflett and Stephen Thomas, but it's not really working at the minute, Adam, and he's trying to get some help from these MX-5s. That's worked a tiny bit, but maybe not so much, and Shiflett's right on his case going into the chicane.
Yeah, he's not helping matters by every time he goes through the left-hander, he keeps going over the curbs. It was the second time he'd done that in the space of 2 laps.
Well, the one at the exit of the S's.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you don't want to play with that curb. It's not something you want to be. It's not a joke, that curb at all.
Hit it in the wrong way, and then it could spit you out into the outside tyre barrier.
Several people do that. We've all done it ourselves as well.
Oh yeah.
Most of the Mustangs in,
yeah, into the pits. We are only 22 minutes into this one, so
Mr. Jeff Jacobs. Kevin Ford's been off.
Lost quite a bit of time now that we've started to go through the traffic.
He's got damage. Is he at that wall on the outside of?
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can see it back.
It was off for 4 seconds. I bet, Alex, it's going to be exactly what Adam was just talking about. Yep.
Oh, yep. Oh, that's
he's
a big
lucky.
hit.
Luckily,
It's all pointing in the right direction, yeah.
That wheel's not straight though, is it? Look. You watch when we come out of this corner.
Oh, that could be his race over. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah, that's not. Look at it down the straight. Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, it's almost like driving a NASCAR there now.
I have to say,
NASCAR that goes the wrong way.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised by the line that he took on the track guide using all of that curve, because I was always under the impression that 2 wheels on, 2 wheels off, the absolute best line there, because you get a much better drive off. At least half of the car has solid traction. So, and Kevin in the track guide, all 4 wheels were off. Car was bumping around like a good one. Yeah, that seems to be his favoured line, and that's why I think that you avoid it, because stuff like that can happen.
Problems for Chris Torment. He's gone into the pits, and I think it's a crash for him as well, Alex, to be honest. And Andrew Fawcett might have had one as well.
Yeah, and Patrick jumped in. What's going on here? We've had a lot. All of a sudden, let's try and catch up.
That's the wall that just juts. It's just kind of
engine.
There, isn't it? The wall.
Worst place, no tyre wall or anything. Oh, let's get this one if we can.
Well, Patrick was just behind him on the track, it looked like.
I'm not really quite sure what.
Well, maybe we won't get that one, but there was one for Andrew Fawcett as well. And this is at the chicane, Adam.
Oh. Now that looks like a blown engine on the... No, that's the blown engine we heard there was the Mazda, I think, in the background.
Hitting the wall, you can see the tyre marks and the smoke.
Yeah. Fawcett, that was just him losing his braking and going straight on. So, luckily it doesn't look like any damage to the front. No, it doesn't. So he's been able to carry on. But yeah, a little bit of a minor worry there. As Brandon Whitworth has come into the pit lane in the No Hope racing car. Hopefully he does. I have a bit of hope.
Yeah.
Because we have just got over an hour to go, and here we go. Here's about for the lead in the Mazdas, and it's now a 4-car duel because Iannucci and Schwenke have now joined the scene, and Mike Dam's going to try and fend off the likes of Rob Hartley now as they come onto the straight. Rob Hartley doing pretty well. Just going to see when his last win in the Ricmotech Sports Car Series was.
I think that, by the way, I think Iannucci's the fastest man on the track. I think that's the whole reason this group's come back together, is because he passed Travis, and now he's dragging Travis along to these front 2. So that little jaunt has not worked. Has not worked for them at all.
As they come out of the chicane now, I wonder if any of these Mazdas here might fancy an opportunity to come in and get an early pit stop, but for now it looks like they're pretty content running around in this quite big pack. And just behind them you can see there that is Jim List and John Allen that are in that second group, which is just a few seconds behind too, just over a second as they come out of the first corner. Mike Down having a little look there in the Crypto G orange car, but no way through there. As you can see at the bottom of the screen, Tyler Shiflett has now come into the pits in the Mustang, so the first round of stops continue in that category. But here is the battle for the lead, and what could have possible ramifications in terms of championship positions in the Mazda MX-5s, and that's a bit better. They definitely won't be going off into that tyre barrier as they go over into the double 90-degree right-hander. It's almost a bit like the exit of Paddock, where we see Brands Hatch, where we see so many cars putting 2 wheels into the gravel and sometimes taking the risk with a few more. Sometimes it pays off, and sometimes you end up in that tyre barrier, just like Kevin Ford did here at Road Atlanta.
Yeah, you saw Mike Dam having to really correct the car going through the exit of there. Tyler Schiff that's in the pits. When you were just talking about Jim List before, he's had a very good season as well, very creditable season, 4th place here. Don't think he can do anything about the championship, but he can definitely maybe get himself on the podium with a bit of luck. But he's 1.8 seconds behind the group that we're watching. Mike Dam then takes over the lead again from Rob Hartley down the straight. It's an easy move. And we've seen actually the last few weeks, Alex, that the slipstream in this car hasn't actually been as effective as in previous seasons, it seems. But tonight, it might be a combination of the wind direction and everything, but it looks like it's very, very useful indeed here.
Yeah, absolutely. That back straight is always so important, and I'm not surprised that he's getting people are getting massive drafts on our leader in. Championship implications for him, but we ought to...
Yeah, he doesn't have any championship implications.
No.
That's the implications, isn't it? That he's won it already. Kevin Ford's
still out
car
there, even though with the damage. So fair play.
Looks very.
Pushing on.
You know what? He was running the same lap times as Coffard anyway, and Coffard's car is pretty much undamaged. So Ford's still
what is
pedaling
going
it
on?
there.
Are you guys hearing the same thing?
Yeah, I can hear something. I can indeed. Jim List's been off, it says. I think that might have been just a small mistake by List.
It's just this gaggle. Might be,
Raymond Bader's in the pits. Yeah, there's something going on. I could hear it. Adam, any ideas? I don't think there's anything major going on.
I can only see that Raymond Bader Jr. jumped to the pits about 3 times in a row over a period of 3 seconds. So,
oh God, doesn't sound like a good day at the office, does it?
So it's definitely not gone on. Something definitely has gone on there. But go for the final corner now. There's a bit of Mazda MX-5 traffic in the way there as they go past the car ending in 7. So that's Edgar Sancinelli. And now Dam has got himself in a relatively comfortable position here. It may not be enough for him to get the Mazda title. We'll find out later on when it's all said and done. But now he's just doing everything he can to get the lead and get the win.
Well, Aeronom made his debut in the series as a replacement for Edgar Sancinelli a couple of seasons ago in the Mazda MX-5. And yet they're all going super wide over there. It only takes just to get a bit high centered on that curb and bottom out slightly, and you'll meet that left-hand wall or the right-hand wall, as we saw from Kevin Ford. So they are taking a chance with that, going over that every time. And really, Alex, it's kind of pointless when you think about it, because the back straight that follows gives you such a slipstream that you don't actually need that extra tenth or so you might gain by going so wide on that left-hander.
Yep, no, I'm with you there. Totally agree on that. But no, they want to get the best run out of there possible. But
it's not like when we've done GT3s and IMSA competition and things like around here, and you sort of need that extra tenth or so maybe to avoid getting overtaken. Like with these cars, you can't really avoid getting overtaken, so pretty tough.
Yeah, it's so easy to make the mistake there, as we saw from Kevin. So risk and reward situation, isn't it? Really. So I can understand why they were trying to break away, But as it happens now, Iannucci and Svenke are right with them. I don't quite know what happened to Alan, because Alan was in this group, wasn't he? But just hasn't been able to quite keep up.
Yeah, John Allen now in 5th place, but has lost a bit of time, as he said. Him and Jim List were right with these guys, but Jim List is now down in 6th behind Alan, and Alan's lost a bit of time. So something going on there. If you are watching the Ricmotech Sports Car Series and thinking, when is this all going to start again? Well, it starts at Daytona, season 12, the fall season, the autumn season, and it gets underway on September the 10th. Same time and same opening race at Daytona International Speedway, which Kevin Ford will be looking forward to as he's just made his pit stop, because that is where he won his one and only race this season. And here we go down the back straight, and final race of the day, final race of the season, I should say. It's everyone's guess who's going to win the Mazda category now, as we've just got under an hour left.
Well, Daytona, it's one of my least favourite tracks in terms of the racing. But actually, it's one of my favourite tracks in this series because we've seen quite a few surprise winners there over the years.
Also, we had the famous one. Was it Alan where he ran out of fuel on the run up to the line?
Oh yeah, we've had that one.
We've had Mike Dam dominating and then disappearing, dominating, disappearing. Dam, the whole alliteration there. But yeah,
we had
it all.
some at Daytona International. I mean, it's definitely provided some surprises in the past. I can't remember who was it who won. I can't remember who was it who won. He wasn't a regular driver in the series. It was a chap who only did one season. I cannot remember his name. I'm pretty sure he was very, very fast there. Maybe he didn't win the race, but I remember like different names can come up there, Alex. That's what I'm getting at anyway.
I'll go and have a look for that.
Because of the nature of how much.
I'm trying to remember who it was now as well, because you're right. It was just his one and only sort of
Griffin.
Yeah, Griffin or something like that. I do
Griffith,
remember
that's
actually.
it, Griffith.
And yeah, just won the one race. And that was a disconnect that aided to it, but obviously he was in a really strong second place anyway. So.
Oh, there's some names here. We had Scott Kennedy at Daytona.
He won one, didn't he, Kennedy?
We had
Kennedy
Mikey Grems.
In fact, Kennedy might have been the one that won with the Oh no, Grems was the one that won because Mike Dam disconnected, wasn't it?
We had Russell Klassen as well, but this is back when we first started covering the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. That's January 2017.
January 17? Was it really?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Been that long?
Yeah. Well, we've had a few seasons. We've had about 5 seasons, haven't we?
Yeah,
that's quite a few late nights on Monday, you know, that is.
Yeah,
that is a good 60 late nights at least.
Yeah, blurry-eyed Tuesdays, that's what that's.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we started covering the Ricmotech Sports Car Series Season 7.
Now,
we're coming to the end of Season 11.
Sorry, Adam. Alex Coffard's in the pits,
sure.
and I don't think it's a scheduled stop because he's been put at the top of the list.
Oh, we've just been looking at stuff and he's ended up at the top.
Yeah, he hasn't pitted him top because Thomas is in as well, and
it's just that it's just that normally they only go to the top of the standings list, don't they? If they're out, but I think it must be something to do with this pit lane.
Yeah, well, I just think he was net leader because everybody else had
something to do with the pit lane.
Yeah, everybody else had pitted.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Nom had pitted a lap before, I think. So yeah.
But yeah, how many late Mondays have we had? Early Tuesdays and
that shows you how quickly these laps can elapse. That's the 23 laps that we were mentioning earlier in terms of the fuel game, and that is the first round of pit stops completed. Then in the Ford Mustangs, we are now just awaiting in about 4 or 5 laps time the arrival of the Mazdas. Some of them are already rolling the dice.
A lot of them have been in actually, haven't they? It's just this sort of front group that hasn't. Dam came in a couple of laps ago, and we did just lose Andrew for a second. Let's get him back in.
Hello.
Hello. There we go.
Yeah.
Don't know if anyone ever watched the V8 Supercars. I don't know if they still do this now, but Mark Larkham always used to get a whiteboard out and always used to show what they would do in terms of fuel. And what it's looking like here with the Mazdas, with some of them anyway, as we see Hartley and Schwenke continue this battle for the lead, is they start out the race, run a little bit of the fuel down, and then fill it back up, and then see how far they can get before they get to that magic number where they can get back to the end of the race on a full tank of fuel. So maybe that's what they're doing here.
What did he do with his whiteboard then? Did he just literally write the numbers on it, or did he draw?
It was basically a line. It was a line graph, and he'd go down and then fill it back up and then go back down again.
Did it make sense?
It made sense, yeah.
Oh well, that's good then.
Better than
you never know. We might have enough budget for a whiteboard one day. I think that's the dream anyway, isn't it?
Once we get the studio all sorted out, that's what it'll be.
That's it. Oh,
get the whiteboard in there.
We'll
get some technical graphics. It'll be like be like Ant Davison and the in the
SkyPad.
In the SkyPad. We'll just have a whiteboard and a marker pen. It'll be fine.
Well, you are about the same size as Ant Davidson.
Hey, come on.
Oh.
I'm not that short. Right?
Well, nobody's actually that short.
I positively look down on Anthony Davidson. So
Anthony Davidson's 5'6", I think, maybe even less than that.
no, he's not.
No, he's
far
never.
less
He's
than
never 5'6" in
Far
a million
less than
years.
that.
He wishes he was 5'6". Dear me.
Hang on, I'll check now. It's 5'3". There you go.
Oh,
Yeah, there we
There you
go.
go.
Not
That's
3
much
inches off.
although we probably, in fairness, Alex, we probably need Anthony Davidson if it depends on the size of the studio. We
Well, this is true.
probably need him to
Might be a
fit in it.
squeeze. Might be a squeeze. We'll have to wait and see.
Oh my word! Well,
And he
that's
did
just what
clip
they
him.
didn't want. And
He
I
did
don't know who
clip
that
him.
was.
It was
Well, broken
Leon
right
Wright that
key.
was at the back of it, wasn't it? Yeah.
Michael
Broken
Key
right rear.
spins.
For the Mazda that collided there.
Oh,
Back
did
to
it
the
hit
pits
the
as well.
wall?
Yeah,
Like
so
a
Hit
Wright
the
kick.
wall, did he?
did hit the wall and jump back in. Let's have a look at that again from a different angle.
That was scary for the Ford Mustang. Well, some of the leaders, kind of.
It was a shame he just
Oh,
wanted
he
to
just
stay
got
out
the
of the way.
grass.
Just nick the grass. Yeah.
Oh, it was Leon Wright, was it, that came through and clobbered him? Was it?
Was right, yeah. It wasn't Wright's fault, of course, but yeah, that's race ending for Key. Just back markers.
Oh
The
man.
back markers leaders or other class drivers coming through, and he tried to give him room, didn't he? And caught the grass, got him.
Got to say as well, mate. Happy birthday for the other day.
Oh, thank you.
Did you enjoy? Did you have a good time?
I did good.
Good cake, I saw.
The cake
good.
was excellent.
The cake was good. The cake was very, very good as well. And
Oh,
didn't
what
move
inside?
on screen.
Tyler Shiflett. Lovely job. That was a piece of cake.
Was. But yeah, so a really good Friday. As we're still seeing the move, I'll tell you about it in a second when they
Stephen
stop going
Thomas.
side by side.
Stephen Thomas up the inside of Kevin Ford. Now, does Ford still have the steering damage? It looks like he might still have a bit of it.
Find out.
Oh, I tell you.
Car to the right somewhere. Can't see it on screen, but it is there.
Is he gonna? Oh, he's not
got it.
bothered.
No.
I think from my experience of racing in Le Mans 24 Hours, eventually you get to know the problem and know how to handle the car. And I wonder, after dealing with the issue for a good 15-20 minutes, I wonder if Kevin Ford has got a handle of it. Oh, look at Shiflett.
The Shiflett.
Yeah,
He nearly didn't have a handle on anything, did he? Then.
my point in case, I think.
Yeah.
That's definitely not the Alex Simpson line, is it?
No, not at all.
No, that's the anti-Alex Simpson line. Doesn't like that one. Yeah. So sorry. Go on. So you were saying.
Yeah, so yeah, obviously I got me girlfriend Emily treated me to a nice little stay at a swanky hotel, and we went to an outdoor theatre where we watched Joseph and the Technicolor Dream Show. Nice 3-course meal,
Oh, nice.
and breakfast in the morning and whatnot. So that was really, really nice. And her family surprised me with it was sort of her cousins also had a birthday as well, so it's his 18th. Yeah, so a little get together and got cake and whatnot, which was quite awesome. It was quite funny. Obviously, I took a picture of the cake and Emily grabbed the phone and did a selfie of us, which I love the fact that the community got behind the racing car cake more than they did the selfie of us as well. Got right up on those, which was quite funny. So
Yeah, but it just shows that. It just shows we're a lot of fat gits.
well, this is.
I was going to say something else then, but then I remembered
I know
that,
what you were
it's
thinking,
not
yeah.
after the watershed in America.
I just said I said you're not gonna. I said a picture of us is just not gonna be as interesting as cake with racing cars on it, as far as my friends are concerned. You're on a losing battle no matter what.
This
you
is
do,
the mental
so.
age of this is exactly what the sim racing community's priorities. That's exactly where they lie.
Exactly, and
It
then
is with the stomach, I'm afraid.
It did make me chuckle because I found out that they had ordered the little cars on top of the cake from Amazon, and they never turned up on it. So they had to nip into town on the day of my birthday to go and pick up some sort of like
Toy
Hot Wheels
cars,
cars or whatever
yeah.
to get them on top of the cake. So Yeah, they said I've got another birthday present when I come back next week, which is
Now
the
what?
toy cars that arrive from Amazon.
Now, what they should have done is they should have, as up the inside goes Thomas on Kevin Ford, and he's now got the outside for the second part of the chicane. Now, this is tough. This is really, really tough to hang this around the outside of the final corner. Let's see if he can do it. Oh, he can.
Oh, sublime.
Beautiful.
Wright's back in on this battle as well after what
Jim
we saw a
Lister's-
few laps ago.
Jim Lister's crashed, I think, has he?
I think he
Yes,
might have
he
done.
has. Drop down the order. Oh,
Oh,
he's
well.
already. That's already.
He's already
happened to him,
touring
it
at this
looks like.
point.
Oh no!
I think he might have been nursing already a handling issue. Let's see what happens as they. He might have been going at such a slow pace that he triggered the Jim List crash.
Yeah, I think he has, and he has
I
jumped back
think
to
he's
the
had
pits.
a real issue there at some point.
There he is again.
I can't pinpoint where he actually went off the track.
Is it
It's
fuel?
not a fuel. It's not a fuel, is it?
I hope he's not out of fuel. Surely
Oh, he's coasting.
Yeah,
he's out of fuel, so he might get back in the race.
and there is drive, so it's not as if he's blown the engine. So that is fuel.
I think he's had to tow back to the pits though because the hill has defeated him.
Oh, defeated.
No. I was going to say what they should have done for the top of the cake is they should have gone and seen my new team principal, Michael Blake, and got a car for the top of the cake.
Yeah.
Didn't you win one? Haven't we won one of those?
We
Prize
didn't,
wheels in the
no, we
World
didn't win
GT?
one. I got one.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, but we do need to see some pictures of that on the social media as well. Once that's done, you'll have to put some up.
Yeah,
on the
I will
Apex social channels.
Yeah, headed
Without-
back to Michael just to do some additional work. Unfortunately, the delivery didn't exactly pan out thanks to the delivery company. So
Yeah.
Oh. Well,
From my experience of I sell mobile phones for a living. For those who don't know, but from my experience, it's usually the delivery company that's the issue.
we have lost
Who we
Deputy
lost?
Nucci.
I hope we find him again.
Power problems. I mean, he's out.
Ah,
oh dear. Well,
When did he disappear? Unfortunately, we don't have a disconnect alert, do we? So
we
it's a case
don't.
of-
We need to get one of those.
have to sort of spot it. But yeah, so that literally just hand the championship to Hartley.
well,
Well, especially now List is effectively out. I
Yeah.
think it does. Like
it
I
all
said, we
depends
don't
on the
think,
Mike Dam situation.
we think that even if Mike Dam wins the race, that he can't overhaul Robert Hartley.
Yeah, I think Hartley has to have a disaster, doesn't he? As well.
Let me-
And
let
to
me
be fair, I
read you
think
in.
enough people are out of this race already that that's not going to happen anyway.
Well, he's probably gone and ended up just tucking into some cake then or something. Since we were
Yeah.
on about cake,
he's had his
probably
cake
gone
and he's
like,
eating it.
he's having the commiseration cake.
Well,
I'm afraid.
error none. He's so far ahead, and he's already wrapped up the title. So this race victory, if he stays in the lead, will be the icing on the cake. As here comes Shiflett and Thomas.
I was going to say,
in.
of course for Iannucci, it'll be potatoes, won't it? It won't be cake. Oh dear, but he'll be disappointed with that. I mean, it's happened before. We've seen it. And Stephen Thomas. By the way, Stephen Thomas, Alex, he just puts together excellent overtaking move after excellent overtaking move, and you can't shake this lot.
No, exactly. It's going to take some sort of. Well, he's going to have to try and hopefully nail strategy or something like that. What did they do? They were all very, very similar times.
Oh.
So he was a bit shorter
Every
in the
time.
first stop, so he might struggle if they're going to be a little bit shorter in the final stint, final stop. So he might have to come back at them. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, you could be right there. Every time Tyler Shiflett goes through that left-hander, he nearly loses it. His car doesn't seem to like the bumps at all. Speaking of bumps, Alex, Detroit on Thursday, Belle Isle circuit.
Well, that's going to be interesting for sure. Like I say,
It will.
I've turned a handful of laps there, just to I bought the track, turned a handful of laps because I've never driven the circuit before.
So you know where you're going now.
Oh, I at least know where I'm going. I had to turn the racing line on. I had no clue.
Oh,
Was
Ethan
that bad?
McColgan.
So,
Oh,
but I thought I thought, well, I haven't got the time to faff around trying to learn it. Put the racing line on. I'll tell you what, it is for anybody who goes, what the hell, you know. It does increase where you're going. Like, it takes about half the time, I think, to learn it. So, if you don't know, top tip, there you go, turn it on and don't feel ashamed. Heard it here, I did it right now.
Pro strategy there from Alex Simpson. I tell you what, I might need to do the same thing. I am racing this Thursday in Detroit in the BSRTC as well for my sins. I'm going to be representing Sim Auto. So they have hooked me up with a nice. Oh goodness gracious me! I tell you what, it's that same corner again. Nobody seems to understand the fact that you have to actually survive that corner if you want to survive the rest of the race.
They're making a right meal of it, aren't they? As they
take my advice, guys. Come on.
Well, some people do listen to the commentary as we are driving. They have told us this.
Yeah.
But
give us a wiggle. Flash the lights if you're listening right now.
That's it. But you've
do these lights flash? I don't even think they do. Do they? That's a shame.
Yeah, they might. I don't mean the turn.
Is that how appalling the Ford Mustang is that the lights don't even come on? Oh dear. We need a new Ford. You know what the worst thing is as well? The new Ford Mustang is so beautiful in racing car form, and unfortunately we're still kind of stuck with this one. That still looks fairly decent, but yeah, it's just like when you've got such amazing things as the Mustang that's in GT Sport. I mean, there's no contest really.
Here's a bit of an excerpt from what the point scenario. Oh, he's off. I look away for one moment, and Stephen Thomas goes from second to 4. There you go.
Got to do it all again. We just wanted to do some more moves around the outside. That's all it is.
Yeah. That's about right, isn't it?
Here is Mike Dam then. Even with a win at Road Atlanta, which is Mike Dam sitting in second place now. So if he wins the race and gets the 3 bonus points, the most he can score is 22. The other 2 drivers only finished 9th to tie Dam.
Going off the
and yeah, if they finish in a position higher than 9th, Dan will be relegated to 3rd place. So as long as Rob Hartley keeps it in this position, he's sitting pretty here.
Could get second at least in the championship, which wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
Not too shabby, is it? Really, but when you go into it in the league, I suppose it's always going to feel a bit like. I did just want to add to the final little thing of the birthday conversation as well, because my dad took me to the British Touring Car Championship as well on the Sunday, which was off air at Rockingham, and that was a fantastic race meeting. And you let me know, obviously, that was going to be the final race there that they do, which was absolutely gutting, and circuit where you can watch all the racing action. Yeah, one that I do believe iRacing scanned it. It's a circuit that they do add.
Rockingham, well, if you're listening iRacing, you should probably put it in, because, like I say, especially if it's not going to be used as much, it would be good to have it in the sim.
It keep the
be able to do some oval racing around there as well.
Yeah, that's what I say. Keep the oval community happy. Give them something a little bit different. It's like a,
well, a British oval. It's something they just won't have.
Yeah, it's like a sort of square oval, isn't it? Rather than a your traditional sort of oval, like proper four corners,
like Indianapolis a bit.
Yeah, but even just a bit wider, So
yeah.
Like I say, it's more like a square than anything. I have to say that little picture that you've shown, Andrew, of the new Mustang does look indeed very nice. Get it on.
But
come on.
That's my favourite car in Gran Turismo Sport. I just absolutely love the look of it. I think it looks fantastic. I don't know if you've seen it, Adam, but it is a beautiful looking thing. Can you imagine if we had that in the Ricmotech Sports Car Series? We can't put it up on the screen, I'm afraid. We've got no way, I don't think, of doing that. But
I've immediately started.
Do we?
I think I might be able to do this. Send that link to the other Alex Simpson, and I will quickly bring it up.
I've been immediately
that link to the other Alex Simpson.
Alex Simpson
the stream.
Hold on.
There you go. I think. Oh, you won't be able to do it with anything. Open text chat, there we go.
I don't know how to do it. Yeah, you might as well do it if you know how to do it.
I was immediately went on to Google to see if it's on Forza 7, as we're going to go into other sims here. Unfortunately, it's not. Woo!
We're not on the iRacing channel or on the iRacing Esports Network. We have the liberty to just... they haven't asked, and we haven't asked to be on there either.
Well,
so
there you go. So we haven't...
there was no disagreement on what lag is. But yeah, it comes Mike Dam, who's definitely not lagging in terms of pace. He's hoping that his internet doesn't lag, because that's what's been the depth of it.
That netcode exists.
For a second. And yeah, well, come on, look at that. That's absolute beauty. Let's get that in there.
That's GT3 regulation, of course, but you could have it.
Do you like the 4C in the background as well? Is that GT3?
Yeah, it's. There is actually,
by the way.
There is actually a GT4 version of that Ford Mustang as well, which I imagine would be what they would be using for this.
Yeah, I would think so.
But yeah, there is a GT4 version of that. But look how beautiful that is compared to this one. I mean, it's not that this one is bad, but it's very old now. Oh, and it's shiftlets! What are you doing, man? Honestly, just change your line. That cannot be comfortable to go across there every time. Because he's just in danger of being out of the race nearly every time he goes through there.
Position this overtake down on Geordie Fike.
Geordie Fike, who appears that he's got the AM category wrapped up. Not the AM category, so the open category.
Yeah, same difference really, but just
it is, but
to talk it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's had a good season. We haven't seen too much of actually, but yeah, good.
Hey, what?
According to this, he's up 6 places in the overall results for today. So he's doing his thing, and I suppose there's a lot of retirements. You know, you look at that.
6 retirements.
You know, that is a lot of retirements just in this one category.
6 retirements, and then you've got Patrick Prevenas, who crashed anyway, and he's like 3 or 4 laps down. So that's basically seven retirements.
Of course, Ryan Cobb is our spotter, well, not spotter, he's our steward for today.
It's a good point, actually, because there haven't really been, they've all been single car crashes, really.
They have, he's not had to do anything, really. It's like, that's not going to count. My race control hasn't been updated at all, so nothing from them.
I have to say as well, Ryan's one of the unsung heroes of the series, really. He always puts together our penalty reports and things for us. Geordie Fike, it says Geordie Fike's crashed. I hope that's not the case. I think it is the case. Just after saying how well he was doing, does this affect the championship?
Obviously, one of the drivers that is listening to the broadcast.
I must have got a bit excited. Let's have a look.
Oh, he did.
No.
He did. Bosh. Oh, no.
And that will
very lucky not to blow the engine there.
Oh,
and that will
lucky.
feel exceptionally pathetic, Alex, won't it, in a corner like that?
Yeah, it really will.
It's awful, isn't it? If there's one thing that's worse than having a crash, it's having a crash like that, where you
fast toast.
You just feel, you're doing about 50 miles an hour, and you just feel it's impossible to do that to the car, and yet, Kevin Ford! Oh my goodness me, what happened there?
Just couldn't turn the car, could he? Poor Geordie Fike. And
he might have, Kevin might have just thought that gap was there. It's a difficult one, that, but well, there might be some work for the stewards now, but
let's have a look at it. Oh, of course, he was off track there, coming across and slow. Evan surely can see he was having problems.
Oh no! Well, he was on the inside. I think Kevin maybe should have just
gone around the outside.
Gone around the outside. I think there might be an error.
So I'm afraid.
Have you seen, by the way, where he went off there? It's like, I don't know if it's like a service road or whether it's like a part of a different layout. But can you imagine having that as a like a really tight chicane / hairpin type thing? That if you saw that road where he went across.
It's like a little donut, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I have seen around there. It's the only time I've seen this little bit of circuit used. And that is iRacing late model doing drifting around there.
Yeah.
There's a video somewhere of it on YouTube.
Racing late model. There you go.
Yeah, absolutely full on drift. Epic it was. So
I used to quite like the late model actually. It used to be quite decent.
I've got it.
I'm gonna Google it and see if I can see it.
This was back when I was doing my massive oval push.
I need to go back on the ovals.
And
I miss oval racing. I need to go back on it.
Top 2 in then, Norman Thomas. I could have a massive rant about stewards' inquiries and modern Formula 1 fans as well. After watching the 2004 review earlier. Some of the stuff you could get away with back then. And you didn't have loads of people giving hate on Twitter either after a race either.
No, we don't. We don't see that in the Ricmotech Sports Car Series either. Thank goodness.
But here is Thomas, the car getting jacked up. Aeronom's so far in front that he's managed to retain the lead after his second pit stop. That's how he's loving life at the moment here. And
Stephen Thomas is in the pits as well. Russell Ruddock likewise.
Got Chris Torman in as well, but I think he's been in there for some time.
But yeah, we are down. Shrinking. That means we are down to just 10 Mazda MX-5s. And like I say, one of them's 2 laps down due to a crash himself, Patrick Brevenas. So
we see. I mean, you look at the intervals out there right now. There's not an awful lot going on out there. It's quite unusual, I have to say.
Mike Dump's been in the pits.
Foreman's jumped to the pits. What's that about as well?
Oh, he was. Well, I wonder if that's to do with.
Well.
Oh God!
Is he trying to get out with a car like that?
Was that like that? For some reason, I don't think that was like that before. Was it?
I don't think so.
I know he went off, didn't he, earlier? But I don't think he did that to it. I'd be wrong. Was he the one who went into the?
Yeah, it was the curb. Well, I know that was Geordie Fike, wasn't it?
Was he the one who went into the wall actually? Then it was him who went into the wall out of the chicane, wasn't it?
Oh, is he just sneaking out just to see if he can get some repairs done, see what the car's like or whatnot?
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like it
does not look like it's going to repair it.
Oh dear.
It's but a scratch. Oh no way.
Yeah. So the 2 battles. Well, there's three battles going on out there really now that we can see. So 2 you can see on the tower, and that's really between Tyler Shiflett and Leon Wright. That's that one there. And actually, all of a sudden, the other battle has pretty much died down, and that's Russ Ruddock, Brendan Whitworth, and Kevin Ford. Kevin
Ruddock's
obviously
just
with
been in the pits, but I don't know if that's
a lot of damage.
Anything. I don't know exactly what sequence they're in with that. I tell you what, if the race stops now, Alex Coffard will be very happy. He's in second place, but he hasn't pitted for a second time. It doesn't look like.
And we've already reached that mark. Where's this race gone? I didn't realise an hour had gone. You know what, guys? I think it's a bit of a time we give a little shout out to series sponsors over at Ricmotech. Throw it to an advert. We'll catch our breath, and yeah, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. But yeah, go. Let's stick with us. Yeah, just have a look what the Ricmotech guys have got for offer.
Welcome back to the Ricmotech Sportscar Series here on Apex Racing TV. Andrew Woodhouse, Alex Simpson and Adam Bath here with you for the final round of the season. And Adam, over an hour has gone already. We've seen thrills and spills. We've seen a surprising amount of attrition, especially in the MX-5s. But one thing we are going to see is we're going to see Aeronom take the title tonight.
Yeah, it's a proper car breaker, this one. But yeah, Aeronom, he didn't even need to turn up today. But I think he wants to keep this amazing run going. Basically, if you only just tuned in, he missed the opening 2 race meetings of the season, came back, and has won every single race since. And no one's been able to stop him, and he's going to round off the season with a win here. As things stand, you can see there, race control message, incident involving cars 32 and 09. That's 32 is Kevin Ford, and car 09 is Jolly Fike. No further action between them. Interesting one, that one.
Yeah, it was,
Makes
but
sense.
I don't think you could do anything really, is there? I mean, it affected Kevin more than it affected Fike's damage and on the circuit, and yeah, you could argue that Kevin probably shouldn't have hit him up the bum, but not gonna have affected Geordie's race anymore. He was well and truly done, wasn't he?
Yeah, car ruined after hitting the concrete one on the exit. One of the reasons why we've probably got so many cars out of the race today. No safety cars though. We have had the occasional Ricmotech Sports Car Series race where we've had quite a few safety cars, and if not that, we've had issues with safety cars and stuff like that. But as we look at the track map and we look at this battle for third, which is probably the closest battle we've got on the circuit right now, we've got cars pretty much on every single part of the racetrack here. This Road Atlanta circuit in the heartland of Georgia, going through the S's now.
Yeah, and it is a very picturesque circuit. And again, the drivers are flirting with that outside curb, going onto the back straight. And I say back straight, it's kind of, I mean it is, but it's quite a short one. Or going wide is Stephen Thomas. That's Nathan Thomas, isn't it? Sorry. Now, as Stephen Thomas has pitted for the second time. Of course. Tyler Shiflett now trying to get through the straight then. Yeah, and he's cleared him. And as will Leon Wright as well. I think it's just a bit of sportsmanship from Nathan Thomas really to just not interfere with the battle too much. Does make sense. He's another one having a decent race. He's got actually pristine looking Ford Mustang does Nathan Thomas.
That can be, you know, gonna get him some, decent game. He's up 8 places. Obviously, I know he needs his additional stop. Where he might come out around. It's not gonna be a bad little race for Nathan, actually. Oh, there's a Shiflett getting a little bit out of shape. Stephen Thomas definitely lost out in the pits, didn't he? Quite a bit over these two who he was battling a moment, well, a few laps ago before we went to our series promoters.
There's some more tyre squeals going on in front of us. And that's just the case of what happens at that double right-hander. Leon Wright's been quick in this race though, hasn't he? He's been really in and amongst it. Even with the damage as well that he sustained in the accident with Michael Key.
There we go. See if he can get it done.
He's gaining.
We're going to get into top gear. Or is fourth? Yeah, we do have a 5th gear in us, so he's gaining.
We do indeed. We are not a NASCAR Cup car. We do possess more than 4 gears. Oh, Shiflett! How did he make the corner? Absolutely no idea. Did you see that? It looked like he was well out of control.
Full on
Alex Coffard
GP
pits
style,
from
like.
second place. Yeah, he was backing
That's
it in.
under-
Oh, hello. Tell you what, I've never
That's
seen
not
Ford
helped.
Mustang racing look as violent as this.
Different at all.
Unbelievable. The way these two are throwing the car around. It's like a lot of fun out there. I've driven this car, but I never really thought of it as a throwing around car. I always thought of it as a drive as slowly as possible, and that's how you go fast car.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
But again, maybe I wasn't fast enough. I don't know.
Is that the V8 supercar?
Let's see Tyler
approach?
Schiffler over here. This is the one. This is the one where he's. Oh, it looked okay that time.
Much better drive when you do it like that, off the corner.
But that was the 2 wheels on, 2 wheels off, wasn't it?
Indeed.
And it just looked so much more stable. It wasn't wrestling the car. Oh, Nathan Thomas just behind. Absolutely was wrestling the car through there. This is helping his race as well, though, isn't it, Alex? Because he's getting a bit of a toe off these drivers who are, two of the front runners. He's getting dragged along nicely in his battle, which is probably with, it's probably with Kevin Ford. Would that be fair to say now?
Yeah, I would think somewhere around there. Ross Ruddock, something like that. So we'll wait and see. But yeah, exactly. If he can just hold on for a few laps, that could be 4 or 5 seconds that he might gain over his rivals.
Smart stuff by John Allen to get out of the way of these two.
In terms of second rounds of pit stops for the Mazdas, they're pretty much all said and done. There's just a few that only haven't come into the pits. I think it's Dave Payton and Lovell.
Oh, sorry, I can't read. Yeah, but yeah, Payton and Lovell. Yeah, that's right. We haven't really spoken about David Payton, have we, in this race? And he's one who, a season ago, maybe we'd have been talking about him as challenging for the championship in the final races, but he's not really gone for him in 2018 so far.
Yeah,
7th in the championship with only 2 top 5s.
Yeah, the coaxial driver sits in about 7th place in the total ST division, but going for better things next season. Best finish was pretty much at the start of the year. Did go on at 2 weeks ago to have a good race, but a win may come sooner or later. But I'm sure Payton will admit as well that with the likes of Hartley and Dam being so consistent as Payton comes into the pits now for a second stop, it's going to be difficult to get a win. But we do have those races occasionally in the Ricmotech Sports Car Series where things like that do happen, and we do get the occasional surprise victory.
Yeah, we mentioned before, didn't we, that was the that was the case in Daytona a lot, as Payton actually pits from where he was sat in P4.
I don't know, Alex. We haven't been on a lap yet, but who should we go for a lap with? We've got our leader there, Onon.
I think he hasn't had an awful lot of airtime, has he, tonight? So I think we'll let him finish off this lap, and we'll jump on board with him because deserves a little bit, I feel.
Nathan Thomas has just come into the pits. So he's been in, but yeah, Team Bush thinks they're on. Coming into the final chicane now, and good opportunity to set yourself up for a lap, especially if you're doing a qualifying lap. But Aaron won't have to worry about going that quickly as we look from the dash or just in front of. Oh, this you could call this visor cam, Alex. Really, as we come out.
This
of the
is what I was
corner.
thinking. Helmet cam. Of course, you can see the highlighted icon with the 1 on the map to give you an indication of where we are. All those cars in the pit lane as we screen through. Ready for turn 1. Use that little bit of relief road to the left just to open up the corner. Swinging right side. The opportune line is just to miss the curb on the inside and get back on the power right there. Line right hand corner. Here, just want to clip the curb on the right side, and then ready for the S's to the right through there. flirt with the curbs all the way through just to try and strain it off. Brake hard for this left-hander. Like I say, it's important to get the line right. Taking, yeah, nice line. Car seemed very much under control. Into this right-hander. It's cambered here, so you can take a little bit more speed than you would do normally. And which is why some drivers seem to get on the gas a little bit late, but they're taking a bit of extra speed in there. That tight right-hander after that is probably one of the most hardest corners to get right on any circuit. So deceiving, it's so wide, you look like you can take so much more speed through there. You really have to slow it up so that you can actually get on the gas at the apex, and because you need the run on this long straight, because it is a very, very long straight. Heavy braking for the chicane. Use all the curb on the inside. It is a little bit bumpy on the right-hand curb here, so you have to get the line just right.
Here's the level of dominance. Battle for second place still continues. There is half a second between Leon Wright and Tyler Shiflett, both with quite substantially damaged cars. And with 15 minutes to go, or just under 15 minutes to go in this one, wonder if that could be a battle worth watching. Rob Hartley and Mike Dam have been swapping positions. That's what it says on the timing anyway.
Well, they've been swapping positions all race long, really, haven't they?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I guess let's just take a little look at the first of them, just so we can sort of see, because it was over what was about a 30-second period. They have exchanged positions a lot, so let's just see. It looks like maybe they're getting a little bit racy out there now. Side by side for a couple of corners, and I think Hartley's got the slightly better run out of here.
Yeah, the gloves may just be starting to come off a bit, and I'm guessing these are where the position changes happen. I think there's just been another position change. I think Mike Dam regaining the lead after what I believe is Rob Hartley about to take the lead from Mike Dam in this replay that we've got on screen. Hartley on the inside, and yeah, he gets the lead back there. But then I think Mike Dam is going to take it back later on in the lap and say that Hartley's back in the lead again.
Yeah, a lap later. This is that move that you were talking about. And so yeah, 1 lap later, exactly that gets the draft and does that. So they're still exchanging positions out there fairly rapidly at the moment.
Yeah, like a full-on Tour de France finish. That one. Cat and mouse there, and it's the same here as we look at the battle for 5th place. This is Alex Coffard versus Brandon Whitworth. Coffard driving for HJ Motorsports, Brandon Whitworth driving for the No Hope Racing team. But a hope of a top 5 is high here for Brandon Whitworth, because gap is only half a second, and Alex Coffard, one of the cleanest Mustangs we've got on track at the moment, Alex. Him and Whitworth have seemed to have driven their way throughout this entire 1.5 hour race, or an hour and a quarter race, is what's happened so far, without picking up any damage at all.
Yep, cars look mint, don't they? So, like I say, sometimes just having those clean races, that can give you that good result. And currently sat in 5th, got a little bit of company with Whitworth, but yeah, got a good chance, I would think, here. Just doing reports, Peyton went off, so
nothing in the way of safety rating, of course, but those are the days.
I do want to look at this battle as well, because it is, of course, Coffard's teammate in Andrew Fawcett. So, and also that car is in immaculate condition as well. But these guys, obviously, at the back of the grid and the pack, they don't often get a lot of attention. So, I think while they're having a battle, we ought to bring it to them.
Yeah, this is a battle over 13th place, sorry, 12th place. Actually, there is one car behind these two, and that's David Warren, but he is a good minute behind these guys. So, yeah, this is the battle over second last, basically. And Andrew Force in the HJ Motorsports 2 car currently ahead, and then it's Everest Quality Racing's Raymond Bader Jr. trying to get by as they go into the chicane here. Good angle from the chopper that we've had up there today, going under the bridge and plunging back down the hill again. Half a second in it really, and we'll see what lap times these guys are doing as they come across on, and put it into comparison with what our leader Aeronom is doing. 35's not much, isn't it? Just a good few thousandths of a second, and there you go. Aeronom comes across on to the 34.0, so he's lapping a second a lap quicker than these two. And looking from the map, the way he's going, he's probably going to get to these two and lap them by the time this race comes to its completion.
Yeah, you're right. I think you will do. 1 second a lap though. That's not bad, you know, considering these guys at the back of the field and 12th and 13th. You know, I think that's pretty impressive, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all credit to them. I mean, that's not a lot of time that you need to find to be super competitive in this series. So hopefully these guys will push and try and find that last little that last second. I know the last second is always the hardest second to find. The gains seem to becomes smaller and smaller and smaller the closer you get. Yeah, keep pushing.
I know it's a completely different scenario. This is the race, and I'm about to refer to as qualifying, but from what I can remember, Aeronom was half a second quicker than anybody else in the qualifying session earlier. So, in theory, they are only half a second off the guys that qualified in second place on the grid for this race here. So.
And it's so important actually not to get too disheartened with qualifying times, because you know, fast over 1 lap is one thing, but when we have time management and things like that come into consideration, it makes a big difference. And again, I'll look at my BSRTC experience this season. As it's anything I'm racing, so it's anything I can really draw on. But Ash Sutton, of course, real life British touring car champion. Is super quick in the Kia over 1 lap. He's super quick in the race as well, but he always seems to have a good 2 or 3 tenths buffer on everyone in qualifying. But in the race, he
turns it on.
There's probably 10 drivers that literally are just as quick as him. You know, maybe a tiny little bit slower. Ash's ability comes in overtaking, but. That's what's all important, because it's all about time management. They cannot absolutely hammer the tyres over a single lap, every lap of the race, because the car just drops off. So something that all the drivers got to work on is their race pace, and it's good to see these guys, like I say, 1 second off, and
there is Nom now
plugging away and taking full advantages of opportunities like this when the leader does get to a point where they have lapped you.
Oh, I like that. That's
yeah. To sort of learn and see where it is you actually are losing on that driver. You know, what sort of sectors and corners and things like that. If you can't get hold of his data, you've got to learn from on the circuit. Of course, there are ways to look at the driver's data to examine exactly where you are losing time in a race situation as well. Head on over to the SDK Gaming website. Bit of plug, a bit of promotion. While we're at it, we have a bit of software called iRacing Contenders, and it actually grabs all of the data from the SDK, actually from a race session, and it allows you to study it. It's not quite as in depth as say what you might have off of say iSpeed or VRS when you actually have a testing session, but yeah, all of a sudden Beta Junior struggling to try and keep our leader ahead, sort of behind at the minute, and not letting him by. I mean, what's the rules, Adam? Here, I didn't think there was it was advisory or something like that. It seems like he's genuinely racing in him here.
Yeah, North America is advisory. On the continent here, it is compulsory blue flag. So Aeronom is going to be blowing a fuse here as he tries to get by Raymond Beta Jr. Beta Jr. as well. He's got himself drawn into a race that doesn't exist really, because he was meant to be competing with Fawcett, but now he's now having to deal with a car that's just lapped him. So Aeronom continues on his way, and he hasn't got long left. He's got 6 minutes to get to the end of this one, and here we are back again with the lead battle. This time where we join it, Andrew Woodhouse, it's Mike Dam that is now at the front. But I'm sure in a few corners or the next time we come across this battle, it'll be Rob Hartley back at the front. That is just the way that it's been with these two today.
Yeah, it could all change at any moment, couldn't it? And we've seen it over and over again tonight, how easy it is for these guys to change positions. But it has worked, that strategy of, potentially working together and getting a gap. It does look like it's paid off. They're 11 seconds clear of Travis Schwenke, 28 seconds clear of John Allen. And that they've had just a really good run out there. They've both kept clean cars, Alex, as well. That's important around here, as we said.
Yeah, so important. Issues for
David Warren.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, Warren.
He had a spin at the exit of the double right-hander. He might have hit the wall. I'm not sure.
He was.
Oh, dear me.
Yeah,
he was the slowest Mustang earlier, and is that Aero Nom about to put another lap on him?
Because he did have another incident, didn't he, before? But yeah, it was coming out of the double right-hander. He's bit the dust, I think, again. Fortunately for Warren.
He's just got to
still
trundle
going
around.
in 14th place, of course.
Yeah, he's just got to trundle around for a few more minutes. 4.5 minutes to go
he should
here.
make it without getting black and orange flag. Well, he might get the black and orange flag, but he might not have to serve it. You know what? After all, there's only one Ford Mustang actually out of the race, and we've lost 1, 2, 3. Well, we haven't lost all these Mustangs actually, but thanks MX-5s. But there's quite a few out. Put it this way, that's what I'm trying to say. There are 9 of them who are more than 2 laps down.
An unusual race, really, isn't it? We don't often get that kind of
good run for
Christian.
Mike Dam, Alex now, but I think he's sensible enough not to have a go into turn 1, surely. Have a go out of turn 1.
Yeah, I think with back straight being so prominent for it.
Oh dear.
Well, to be fair, I mean, Dam needs to push Hartley at all opportunities, because if he stacks it,
if Hartley
then
crashes, will Mike Dam win the championship?
Correct. He needs to finish 9th or above to get it.
So Rob doesn't really need to be pushing this, does he?
No.
He doesn't need to be pushing that. No, I know,
what Rob's like though. He'll want to win.
I know, but he's nearly.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I nearly absolutely wrote the car off there. Oh! It was almost contact. I'll tell you what, you were on about controversy I had him earlier on. Definitely see some if they come together now.
I don't know if that's I don't think that's figuring into any of their game plans here, but Mike Dam trying to get the lead back again then. Just trying to find, where is Aero Nom on the circuit in relation to these guys? He's on the other side of the track, so I don't think he's going to be lapping these guys by the time we get to the end of the race. So I don't think there's going to be any excitement there, but for now, Dam continues to lead. There's a Mazda just behind them. That is, that's not Travis Schwenke, that's just a car that's got laps, but I don't think he'll be factoring into the equation here. But going through the final corner, over the line onto lap, what is the lap 56 for the Mustangs, but you can see there, Dam 4 tenths of a second quicker than Hartley on that last lap, but doesn't seem to be holding the second place car back at all. He's still right with the Crypto-G orange car as they start another lap.
And it's he drives for Madhouse Racing, Robert Hartley. It would be the Madhouse if he was to somehow mess this up. I think he just needs to make sure that he stays off those curbs and doesn't do anything crazy in the last couple of laps. Personally, if he's only got to finish 9th or above, Alex, I would give the win to Mike Dam. Let him have it.
Well, yeah, exactly. At the end of the day, the championship is what's important.
Because if Mike Dam had no chance of winning,
as long as he has the wall.
If Mike Dam had no chance of winning the championship, then yeah, you go hell for leather and you try and win the race. But I don't think you need to at this point. Stay with him. If he makes a mistake, then you take the win. If he doesn't, then take the championship anyway. A reminder then, we've lost Patrick Prevenas, Jim List, Michael Key, Depi Iannucci, Zachary Rubin, Chris Torman, Greg Mack, and we've lost Robert Brist and now David Warren in the Ford Mustangs, the last two Ford Mustangs there. Having a look at Hartley again, and this will probably be the final lap now, Adam, for them.
Yes, you're
maybe one
right.
more, might get one more in.
Hartley is just onto the back straight now, so he'll be getting the checkered flag at the end of this lap. So this is going to be the final lap for these guys.
It will be, and it's been a really good season. We've seen maybe not been as close as it has been in previous, but I think on the whole, Alex, I think the racing has been better than it was probably in probably last season. But in fact, we'll come to that in a moment, because around the final chicane comes Aero Nom. He's only taken part in 10 races this season. How many has he won? He's won 10. Here he comes, Aero Nom, coming through the final corner then to win the last round of the season at Road Atlanta and to take the Season 11 Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Sports Car Champion of the GS class. Well done to him. Here comes Tyler Shiflett. Been an exciting race for Shiflett today. And the man who actually was only 11th in the championship coming into today, that will raise him up at least into probably 8th. With a very nice P2. And here comes the battle for the win.
Oh.
They're going to be side by side through the final corner. Surely this is going to be super close. It's going to be a photo finish.
I think it was just about damp.
It was wiped down by 0.04 of a second. And that was very, very good indeed. But Rob Hartley is the champion, we believe. Obviously, we've got to get the official results, Alex, but that should be the case.
Yeah, I believe you're right there. David Payton is close to...
He's finished already, isn't
That's already finished, yeah.
Yeah.
So... Or is he? He is.
Yeah, he's finished. I think.
Mike
there's still a few
Taylor
drivers
we're
out
waiting,
there.
actually. Yeah, we're just waiting for Mike Taylor's one.
Mike Taylor, P8. I think he's going to be fairly happy with that, considering he started in what I believe was 15th to 16th, so I think he's going to be super happy with that.
Now is we are looking at Hartley. I think that is everybody finished. Yeah, that is it. The race is over. So we'll run you through the results momentarily. I was just going to get the standing sheet up to see who's won what. Obviously, Aero Nom, the champion before we got here in the GS Pro. In terms of GS Open, it was a four-way battle between Russ Ruddock, Brandon Whitworth, Jeff Jacobs and Leon Wright.
So Brandon Whitworth was 5th, Jeff Jacobs was 7th, Russell Ruddock was 8th, and Leon Wright was 3rd.
Wright would need a top 3 finish, and the other 3 drivers finishing 8th or worse.
Nope. Well, that hasn't happened.
That hasn't happened.
They all finished 8th or better.
Okay, so you know, it's definitely not Aero Nom.
What's that? So, what does that actually mean?
That wasn't for the Open though. That was just for 4th and 5th. There you go, making drama there. Open category. It's Andrew Fawcett is the favourite. He had a 9-point advantage over Nathan Thomas, and Fawcett finished in 12th.
Almost 9th.
Now this is when I need to get the points bit.
That's going to be pretty close.
So so Fawcett finished in 12th. 12th place gets 7th place get it's 19 points you get for 12th. Then and then you said Nathan Thomas finished in 9th, so that's 22 points. So that's
So he should be. Andrew Fawcett should take it then, should he?
Yeah, that should be the case. Moving into the Mazdas. Sorry, Alex, just keep those on the screen for a little bit longer. ST Pro, that is Rob Hartley's, we believe, from what we gathered. Open category. Geordie Fike hasn't changed much there at all. Geordie Fike crashed as well, so I don't think it really mattered, did it? Fike finished in 24th place. Greg Mack. Geordie Fike already had an advantage and he finished ahead of him anyway, so that's fine there. That was the ST Open category, so Wall really on the exit, the left-hander halfway around the lap, and then he had an unfortunate incident with a back marker, which scuppered his race. Matt Catila down there in 11th, Andrew Fawcett 12th, Beta Jr. 13th, Dale Warren 14th for Robert Brist in 15th, 7 laps down there as we move on to the Mazdas. There's Mike down, 42 thousandths of a second it was in the end, between him and Rob Hartley. Then Travis Schwenke a good 15 seconds behind him. Then John Allen in 4th, and then the cars 1 lap down. Jeff Lovell in 5th, Dave Payton in 6th, the Canadian. 7th, Bobby Childs, then Mike Taylor. 2 laps down, Edgar Sancinelli. Then Geordie Fike, who takes the open category in the Mazdas. Patrick Previn 6 laps down, and then cars had issues during the race. Jim List, Michael Key, then Giuseppe Iannucci, Zachary Rubin, Foreman, Greg Mack, and obviously Ryan Cobb is our steward for today. So those are the 17 cars that started and attempted to finish. Some doing better than others in the Mazda MX-5s. Right then, it is interview time, and may as well start with our champion, Aero Nom.
Hi.
Oh, well done on the title. Another straightforward victory for you, and it kept up. It's kept up the run for you. Every single race that you've entered this season in the Ricmotech Sports Car Series, you've won. You must be pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, I'm pretty pleased. I think I got pole every time. I got the maximum bonus points and everything. So yeah, and 0 incidents this race and 12 in the whole season. So yeah, that's perfect, I think.
Anything else of the ordinary happen in that race? Even though you picked up 0 incidents, was there anything that you saw during the race that gave you any cause for concern?
Not really. I think only in the end, when I tried to pass the last 2 Mustangs in the lead lap, it was pretty hard. So yeah, it was very close there. But the whole race, I think I was very safe, and just waited on the straight to pass mostly. Yeah, it was pretty easy.
You've won so many races this year. Is there one that stands out as one of your better performances?
Maybe the first race. I think it was the one you commentated alone. Whatever oval it was. And yeah, there it was my first race back, and it was pretty hard. Didn't see, but I got spun before the pit stops. So, and Kevin got lead, but I came out of the pits first. I think that was the pretty hardest race in the.
Next season, then, are you going to be back for another season of the championship?
I think I will be. Yeah.
Is the aim then? So is the aim now to win every single race next season?
Let's see what Mike does. Maybe he comes back to Mustang, so I'm not sure yet. But yeah, I had a very good run this season, so.
Is Mike Dan returning to the Mustangs then?
I don't know. Just saying.
Okay. Well, yeah, that could make things interesting. Yeah, well, I think we've got him waiting for an interview. Daytona, then. Obviously, you missed it this season, but an hour-and-a-half endurance race that'll be getting underway in September at Daytona. Long way to go. So till then. So a well-earned rest for you.
Yeah, it will be a good rest, and I think I will touch the car. We got Daytona first time, so it will be a little learning again. But yeah, if I do 1 hour practice on Sunday, it will be fine.
Very well. Well done. Before we let you go then, do you want to send a quick shout out to any of the sponsors?
Yeah, the league sponsors and admins, like always, you guys.
Very well. Yeah, from all of us, well done on the title. It's been a perfect job from you this season since you came back, and we look forward to see you defend the title next season.
Yeah, thanks, Kai. Yeah.
Congratulations, well done. So yeah, Aaron on there, and 10 out of 10, Alex. You cannot ask for any more than that.
No, you can't. Faultless. Phenomenal. Sorry, as I just dropped him into another channel as he jumped out by mistake. They must be like, what's going on? Give me admin access and I will destroy your oval broadcast for you, don't worry.
Oh dear, oh well, never mind. Mike Dam's here, hello.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Well, you've just come into the utter chaos, it seems, caused by Mr. Simpson. Dear me, it's his birthday week. He thinks he can do anything.
Oh man.
So anyway, Mike. So well done on today's race. It looked like it was entertaining out there. You took the win on the final corner with pretty much a photo finish. But
man.
You knew it was always going to be difficult to take the title. Something really had to happen to Rob Hartley, didn't it?
Yeah, no. I knew as soon as Rob got that extra bonus point for qualifying, I knew I didn't have much of a chance, especially if Rob's pulling up a second place finish. But I was going to make him work for it, so I really went for it. If he tried to pass me, I was passing him right back. So it was really fun race. Rob did some amazing driving, side-by-side stuff. This is amazing stuff.
Now, what you have missed there, really, is you missed the trick from the Alex Simpson School of Driving, which is that you would have just found a way to quarter panel him at some point.
But then I wouldn't be Canadian, would I?
Yeah. Hey? No, I mean, yeah, no.
I would never do that to someone like Rob. Never.
And what are you saying, Andrew? I would never do that as well.
Well, no. Your problem is it's not intentional.
Oh, that's one thing. That's one thing that's coming your way up.
No, it just looks that way.
That's it. But how did you see the season anyway? That was your third win. So maybe not exactly what you were after, but still a very, very good season in a car which I don't believe you knew too much about, did you, before the start of the season?
I have done a couple seasons in it before, so yeah, I kind of got reacquainted with it. I was definitely a lot faster.
Have you done it in this particular one, though, or was it the older one?
No, I've driven this car before.
Okay.
Yeah, so I felt like I had the pace at the end of the season. I really entered the season, with my goal to beat Rob. I knew he was going to be the runner-up. It was close. It would have been a lot closer if I had, I think I dropped, 3 or 4 weeks there where I had technical issues and problems like that. But yeah, it was still really close. I think something like, 7 points difference?
I'll tell you what, the cool thing about it was, Rob got 4 wins, 8 top 5s and 9 top 10s. You got 3 wins, 8 top 5s and 9 top 10s. Giuseppe got 3 wins, 8 top 5s and 8 top 10s. So
yeah, unfortunately he had a problem.
Very, very close.
He had a problem in the race today. He probably could have pulled out the second place in the championship.
Power cut, I think it was, possibly.
Yeah,
is what we were hearing.
Yeah, I think he had power issues. Yeah, he was telling me that before the race started. So.
Oh man, that's just the worst, though, isn't it? On the last day of the season. But,
well, I've had that during this season too. So missed the whole race, right?
We've seen you disconnect from several races actually over the last few seasons. So
yeah, just completely different issues this season. I mean, I've had the internet cut out of me. I had the whole power cut out. You know,
it's not really what you need, but I guess it's one of the perils of sim racing. Real motorsport has its technical issues, and we have ours. So
yeah, exactly.
That's something we got to deal with. But yeah, Mike, is there anybody you want to say thank you to before we let you go for the evening?
Yeah, all the racers here, they do a fantastic job keeping it clean and having some great battles. Frank at Ricmotech for sponsoring us, making this possible. It's a lot of fun. And also TD's Tree Service for sponsoring as well. And just the admins for putting this on, Kevin Ford and Jeff Jacobs. They do a real good job.
Yeah, it's always one of the best run leagues, I think, in the whole of iRacing. And yeah, Mike, well done on your win today, and hopefully we see you back next season. Will we see you back next season in the Ford Mustang?
I haven't decided yet.
Well, if his cards are any closer to his chest, he'd have eaten them. So,
well, I don't know. The problem is I had a whole lot of fun in this car this season, so it's hard to beat that.
The element of surprise you've got now, you see, you can just turn up on day one with whatever you want, and then they'll have to deal with it. But yeah, thanks for joining us, Mike. It's always a pleasure, and we will see you next time.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Cheers, mate. Mike down there, Alex, and he's just a professional, isn't he? You know, he's just a pure pro. Is Mike down?
Yep, completely and utterly. Good strong performance from this season, of course, first in the car. So yeah, I'm not surprised he had a lot of fun. I imagine in this series and this car, I imagine it's a great deal of fun out there as well. The guys give so much respect to one another out there, which makes the racing really good. And then the last lap, or last couple of laps, it's on, isn't it? So such a strategy-based series. So, like I say, I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised to see him back in this car, try and see if he can clinch the title next season.
It's just the fact that they were the two championship contenders, Adam, and they were racing so closely to each other for pretty much the whole race. I mean, there aren't many series where that would happen fairly and without contact and without a disaster, really.
Yeah, I think it helped that both drivers knew what their championship situation was looking like. Obviously, look, with Rob Hartley doing so well, it looks unlikely that he was going to win the title. But what a great battle it was, right to the very end. And Mike Dam able to take the bragging rights going into next season. Well, hopefully the internet connections and dropouts and the power cuts and whatnot have all been a thing of the past. And next season, Mike Dam will be going on better, but will it be in the Mustang or will it be in the Mazda? That's what we're going to have to wait and find out for.
Well, even he doesn't know, which I think is the interesting thing for everybody else, and definitely interesting for us. We hope to be back next season for season 12. But thank you everybody for joining us here on Apex Racing TV for the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Sports Car Series presented by TD's Tree Service. It's been a great season. No, I haven't been here for the whole of it, but it's definitely been another one to put in the books, and some more exciting racing every Tuesday morning. So from myself, Andrew Woodhouse, from Adam Bath and Alex Simpson, it's good night from us here in Road Atlanta. Join us tonight, in fact, when the BSR MX-5 will be in action. And then it's Wednesday for the iRacing Le Mans Series and Thursday for the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship as well. So from everybody here, like, share, subscribe, click the bell icon on YouTube to get our videos first. We'll see you in the next one.